Today we're going to walk through opportunity management. So you've created a lead, you've now created an account, a contact, and an opportunity. So we're now sitting in the qualification stage. Now in Salesforce, you're able to provide some notes around a description around each of these fields. So let's say, for example, here in this sample opportunity, we're going to have to fill out some key fields in order to progress the opportunity. So here, let's just select an individual to become our champion. We may not know exactly the buying timeline, but based on a conversation between our SDR and our prospect, we hear they're looking for something within the next 3 to 6 months, essentially. The pain point, let's say, for example, that they're looking for a documentation solution. Now, operations might provide more information on the right-hand side, so we want to confirm it's a real business challenge. We want to identify a champion and establish a timeline. But let's go ahead and click Save. Now, this is an SDR booking a meeting on behalf of an AE. The AE is now having a meeting and now has determined that this is a qualified opportunity. They're going to go ahead and move it to discovery. So I have a field here called qualified. It's set to blank. But once I move it to discovery, this is now going to be set to qualified. And you can see I have a couple of restrictions here. So let's go ahead and set an amount for an opportunity. Let's say this is a $30,000 opportunity. It's a new business op. And let's go ahead and click Save. Now that I've clicked those fields, ideally that warning should go away. And you can see here that I moved to the discovery stage. And I now need to fill out a couple of important fields. So let's say, for example, today is 3-1. So 3-1, set up follow-up call with Mike. And then going to fill in a couple of other steps in the discovery stage. And so in the discovery stage, let's assume that I have another contact. Let's create a new Nike contact. So let's say Joe Johnson at Nike. Search for the account, click Nike real quick. And then let's go ahead and give this person an email. Okay, let's click Save. So now that I have the champion and the economic buyer, let's go ahead and click Save. And I'm going to try to move this forward. Now I have a couple of validation rules in Salesforce that prevent me from moving the opportunity to another stage without filling in some critical important information. So let's go ahead and click the solution alignment phase. Try to click mark as current stage. There you go. I moved it forward. Now let's say I didn't know the validation rules. I'm going to try to move it over to proposal validation. I should get an error. So you can see here that the error, I need to fill the decision criteria and the decision process fields. So let's just take a look at these two fields for the solution alignment stage. Here in the solution alignment stage, I need to fill out the decision criteria. So let's say, for example, business alignment, then needed and requires a case to CFO. And let's assume that the decision process is going to be economic buyer is the CFO. And budget is not confirmed. We'll need a business case for incremental spend, but not so if something else is dropped on a one-for-one basis with our solution, aka $30,000 in savings. We'll click Save. Now I'm going to go ahead and move to proposal validation. That allowed me to move it forward. Now for proposal validation, we're going to require a mutual close plan. Close plan confirmed with my sales manager. We'll walk prospect through the external version next week. Okay, perfect. Procurement process, my champion is unsure and is getting the details now. Click Save. Let's assume that we finalize those steps. We move to negotiation and review. You can see we move forward. So now let's try to move backwards. I should get an error because I've created a validation rule that prevents me from moving backwards. But let's say try to move to close win. And I'm not going to be able to do that because I need to send the contract. So let's assume that we have the contract signed. I don't have the automation filled in for this example, but let's go ahead and assume that we do. We'll click contract executed. We'll click save, and I'll be able to move this to close one. And there we go. We've moved it to close one.